This is Thursday, episode 9. I'm going to touch on the condition of our country and the young people. I'm speaking to people like 18 to 22, 23, 24. You guys are the next CEOs, you're the next stockbrokers, the bankers, the next doctors, the next surgeons, the next senators, the next congressmen, possibly the next president, the next CEOs, the next business executive, the next engineers, the next plumbers, the next farmers, the next inventors. Don't be in competition with girls. Girls, don't be in competition with men either. And try to understand, Trump is not saying that mandatory abortion. He's saying leave it up to the state and the governors to decide in each state where abortion's necessary, what week, you got to have a certain term limit. I feel personally, because when a girl is going to have an abortion, the greatest thing you can take that girl to do is go give her a CT scan and show her baby's heart, and she'll start crying, and she might change her mind about having an abortion. I've seen where these people actually do this for these women, and they saved 1,000 babies' lives. When you see your baby's heartbeat, it's beautiful. And even if, listen, if, I don't want to call you stupid because that's a bad word to say, all right? But if you were reckless enough, or if that's a fair word, you didn't take birth control, or you didn't use a condom, or maybe you used one that broke and you got pregnant, okay, and you didn't mean to, it was an accident, or it was a one-night stand, all right? I'm not talking about rape or incest, or the mother possibly being in a position of dying. That's a completely different story about having an abortion, okay? To save the mother's life, of course, we're not going to have the child live to kill the mother. That's not going to happen because she could bear more children. But my point is, woman, you could do construction work, you could work in a gym, you can work as a construction worker. You could work in a medical facility. I know I had a nurse coming in taking care of me. I'm in a wheelchair, for the past 11 years of my life. And I go to the gym 5 days a week, but, having an above the knee amputee and a wrecked other knee and with a bunch of surgeries and, a ton of other injuries through MMA fighting, through boxing, through, just fighting and street fighting, and then wrestling, and then jiu-jitsu, and then getting hit by a car 11 years ago at 72 miles an hour, finished me off. My passenger got killed. She was living with me. I know she went right to heaven. But my point is, listen, you guys are in the next future. Stop acting so like you don't have a brain in your head. Think for yourselves. Think, do you want to pay $2.50 for a bag of chips? Do you want to pay how much money for a Starbucks coffee or for a Big Mac? You want to pay $7 for a Big Mac, $8 for a Big Mac? I mean, that's crazy. Even maybe more, $9 in some places. You want to buy cigarettes at $15 a pack, $10 a pack, then go ahead and have Biden come in. He will flood this place with strangers. He wants to strip the currency down as fast as he can. Okay, I understand why a lot of countries are mad at us for going $34 trillion in debt. We ripped the globe off of, about 11 countries, maybe 14 countries directly bought our bonds and we never paid them back. I'm sure there was a lot more countries that bought our, and everything has to be traded in U.S. currency. And, I understand the world saying, look, America can't stop spending, but a lot of money we send to other countries, wrongly so, to keep wars started. I don't believe that we should be sending any more money to Ukraine to fight a war. We should be making a peace agreement with NATO and our president and Zelensky and Putin, and no more fighting, and just come up with some peace agreement that both sides aren't going to be happy, but that both sides walk away, feeling that they've saved a little face, and you'll have some Ukrainian men left because you're genociding over 500 Ukrainian men. 500,000 Ukrainian men are dead. 200,000 are maimed, or crippled, or injured. They're finding 14-year-old Ukrainian boys, 70-year-old Ukrainian men, pregnant women in uniforms in Ukraine, fighting in the Ukrainian army. They have no more people to fight. A lot of the mercenaries, from Blackwater and a lot of these private armies that went down there are bailing out because the fighting's getting too intense. Russia's won the war. Ukraine is devastated. End of story, okay? Watch independent news sources. Ukraine is finished. We're sending money there because Radiant or Vanguard put in a bid to rebuild the country, what Putin is not going to allow anyway. And we shouldn't have been in that country telling Zelensky, yeah, you can become part of NATO. We never let him in NATO, did we? All right? So NATO turned their back on Zelensky. So did America. Oh, we'll provide you, with Americans' military. No, they didn't give him the F-14 fighter jets he wanted, intercontinental high-speed intercontinental ballistic missiles, space weapons, because we didn't want to start World War III. All right, so stop the proxy war and stop sending hundreds of thousands of dollars to secure somebody else's border when our border's wide open and there's people, terrorists, criminals, child trafficking. You lost over 100,000 children from the ages of 4 to 11. You don't know where they are? What do you mean you don't know where they are? You know they're getting trafficked. You know they're working all day for somebody. You know they're getting abused. They show up on the border in socks with a little note, and they call the person on the note. Oh, do you know little Johnny Lopez? Oh yeah, we're gonna take him. And then his van pulls up and takes Johnny Lopez along with 6 other children, and then he drives off. They don't even vet the people that took the kids. They don't even know if these the kids' uncles or parents for real. They no DNA tests. It's horrific what's going on. And the border needs to be put under control, but they're doing this deliberately. Half the people, like Omar, the squad, they hate America. Joe Biden, he's a globalist. He hates America. Okay, you remember when he said to Ukraine, they appointed a prosecutor to look into his son's criminal affairs with Burisma, and Joe Biden went over there and said, well, I'm leaving in 6 hours with, I think it was $1 billion or $2 billion. Don't quote me on it. It's one of the two it was. And he says, I'm not leaving this money with you if this prosecutor is still working for you. Then he goes, son of a bitch. Guess what? They fired the prosecutor. That was direct interference with Ukraine and interfering into Hunter Biden and the illegal affairs. Zelensky hasn't had a vote since 2014. He hasn't had a vote now because he's declaring war. He's had secret prisons where he's made Russian pastors and Russian Orthodox priests and nuns disappear, not tell their family where they are. Look it up. They're not a democracy. They weren't our ally. All right. Israel was our ally. The UK is our ally. Britain is our ally. Canada is our ally. The French are our ally. There's other countries. I'm sorry I didn't name you, but and we shouldn't have any part of the Paris Accord agreement. We're paying the most money, and the Green New scam. They're not putting charger stations all over your city, are they? People in the Bronx would rather a playground with some pull-up bars and dip bars and a skating park where they could, skateboard and still work out on the pull-up bars and on the dip bars and on the push-up bars. Give them some footballs, and give some housing to black and brown people that are truly homeless and veterans. Why are you giving housing NGOs, non-government organizations, are well funded by Soros and Bilderbergs and Zuckerbergs and big tech and our intelligence agencies and Defense Department and Homeland Security? They're well funded and they're taking care of these migrants over U.S. citizens, and that's not right. And now you get to see blacks and Hispanics and Asians. You get to see what you really mean to Joe Biden. Absolutely nothing. He's a chameleon. He changes his story, and his stories: I was a lifeguard, a truck driver, an airplane pilot. I flew a spacecraft. I landed on the moon. Yeah, I dated 50 girls at once, all models. I mean, his stories, those aren't his exact stories, but they're as stupid as that. But trust me, I've heard them. So have you. And Trump, just look back at your 4 years. He wasn't a dictator. All right, they never left him alone. The Joy Reid and Joyce Behar, they never left Trump alone from the day he got in office. They pulled 51 intelligence agencies, signed a Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act FISA warrant on him, forged dossier. A dossier is paper evidence that they go to a secret court. And they're not supposed to spy on American citizens, but they do. It's in Section 702, 504A. It says you can't spy on an American citizen, inside the United States. But that's why WikiLeaks, dumped all the emails. He had a right to. He was a journalist. He didn't have to divulge his source. I don't know what he's doing in prison for this. Timothy Bradley and the other girl that cut the deal with WikiLeaks, they had less time than WikiLeaks has had. And Trump, you could have pardoned Julian Assange, and you didn't. And you should have pardoned him. It's not nice to be attacked by everybody, is it? And then you could have pardoned him, Trump, and you didn't. I think that's the only mistake you made. And got a little too arrogant and comfortable with people around you. And you should have got rid of people around you instead of listening to their advice, especially, the advice they gave you during COVID and the spending. They made you spend more money than you wanted to. So I know that you were going to sell our liquid gas and our natural oil. We have more oil than anybody in the world, and our natural reserves. And we need to open up the spigots and offshore drilling and our coal mines and our steel mines and produce vehicles that people want to drive. Not, they don't want to drive electric vehicles. They don't work in the cold. Joe Biden, give it up. Stop forcing mandate vaccines on soldiers. Stop putting woke ideology to children. And I take offense that you're teaching critical race theory that white people suck. White people fought Joe Biden so you could have the Constitution, Declaration of Independence, and Bill of Rights that you raped for 47 years as a senator and vice president and president. All right? You've lived off the American people. You've never had a solid job in your life except changing your vote, calling black people jungle bunnies. You didn't want the integration. You said that. Yeah. And then you said, if you're not black, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. You actually said that too, Joe Biden. You know what? Trump is humble. All right. With Trump, you might not like everything he says, but look what he does for the country. All right. The people love him. The common people love him, and he loves them back. Now you know he's the real deal. All right, I hope this got through to somebody. And the kids in college today, think for yourself, man. Stop going with go in the library and look up Hamas. Look up Hezbollah. Look up the Houthis. Look up Iran. Look up what they do in Muslim countries to women. They can't vote. They can't get a divorce. They have to sit in backseat of cars. They have to wear those birthdays around their head constantly. And if you come to the United States and you don't speak English, and you're not trying to learn to speak English, and you're here, you're a Chinese man between 18 and 25. How'd you get here? How did you get to America? 41,000 Chinese men between that age. What are you here for? We don't have that many jobs for you. So you plan to live off the system, or you plan to to change the census and the voting trajectory? That's exactly what it is. Megyn Kelly, Eric Trump, Laura Trump, Donald Trump, the whole Trump family, all their lawyers, everybody that speaks up for them, Tucker Carlson, Alex Jones, Megyn Kelly, Laura Ingraham, Sean Hannity, they're all that Black Lady, the Fokker angle. She has gotten so much more brazen in saying George Soros' name, because I remember a few years ago when Newt Gingrich brought up Follow the Money to George Soros. Fokker said, you don't need to be bringing his name up during the show. And now you're going after him directly. Good for you, Fox News. You're becoming a real journalist news station. People tune into that. They'll give you they won't give you every bit of truth, but it'll be 80% fact-based on everything they say. You could take it to the bank. And they are persecuting Donald Trump with legal theories that never existed before, and Jack Smith, saying to the Supreme Court, what is a professional act, and what falls under a personal act, and what is a professional conduct, and say an alien is a president, or let's say he orders SEAL Team 6 to overthrow a coup, and they're giving all these legal theories when they should say, stick to the Constitution. In 1876, Mark Levin went over a great history of what happened, way worse, appointing separate electors. The vice president had to send the votes back, that he didn't want to count them, saying that they both accused each other to the last second of fraudulent and cheating. It's called politics. Now they've weaponized politics, criminalized politics. All right, I hope that could change somebody's mind. And children, please, you guys, take jiu-jitsu, boxing, wrestling, do something with your lives and make something out of your lives. Figure out what you're going to do. Stop protesting with these idiots with these rags over their face, and their faces are always covered, waving a Palestine flag. Go to Palestine and try to burn their flag in front of them and say Hamas sucks, and see how far you get. You won't get too far at all. And as a matter of fact, go to Egypt or Jordan or Lebanon or Syria or Yemen and see how you get treated. All right. God bless you guys. Take care. Like and subscribe and put in the comments if I change somebody's mind. And remember, always pray to God. He always hears your prayers. He's the ever-present help in the time of need. He'll never leave you nor forsake you. And greater is he that live in you than he that live in the world. Remember that. The Lord is near to those who suffer. All right. And mercy is shown to the merciful. And mercy triumphs over judgment. All right. You could be tough in your own way. All right. You don't have to be tough physically, but you can be tough mentally, and your heart could be tough, and your mind could be tough, and your spirit could be tough. Okay. Be tough that way. God bless you guys. Goodbye.